Hazel, where are you right now?
Huh? Where? It's my women's group meeting today. I'm out with them. We're all meeting today for lunch at an Italian restaurant. Why do you ask?
You're out with friends? I told you Rebecca only had a half day of school today. I told you she was coming home at lunch. I asked you to be home to let her in the house and make lunch for her, didn't I? You said you'd be home. That's why I made a doctor's appointment for today.
Oh, that was today. I'm sorry. It completely slipped my mind.
Rebecca couldn't get in the house because the door was locked. So she was outside crying until one of the neighbors noticed and contacted me. I'm not done with my doctor's appointment, so can you please rush home and get Rebecca?
What are you talking about? You know I can't do that now. We just got sat down at the restaurant. I can't leave now.
But it's your granddaughter. Hazel, please. I'm at the hospital right now. This appointment is important to me. Isn't there any way you can get Rebecca for me?
When we're done eating, I'll go get her. You said the neighbor is with her right now, so she'll be fine for a couple hours. I don't know why you just can't give her a key. She can let herself in and stay by herself for a few hours.
She's only 6. I can't leave her by herself. And it's not the neighbor's job to look after her until you finish eating with your friends. Besides, she has to eat lunch and get ready for her swimming lesson this afternoon. She can't wait until you're done eating.
You're being pretty stubborn about this, aren't you? Besides, you're pregnant right now. You're due soon. A woman as pregnant as you should be at home, not out running around doing whatever she wants. All of this happened because you weren't home. So don't blame me. You made your bed, now you've gotta lie in it.
Oh, I'm at this doctor's appointment because I'm pregnant. You said you'd be there for Rebecca today. Please, just go get her.
I can't. Look, I'll tell you this just so you know. This women's meeting at the restaurant today. I'm doing it for you.
For me?
That's right. These are women from your neighborhood. We have to be nice to them in case something ever happens. It would be terrible if you ever needed help and none of your neighbors liked you enough to help you out. It's called building rapport. I'm doing this for your benefit. Trust me, I know you're not good at talking to people. You should be thanking me right now for doing this for you. It's rude for me to be using my cell phone right now, so I'm turning it off. So don't message me anymore. Paige, are you there? I know this is a little sudden, but we're going camping tomorrow.
Pardon me?
I'm having lunch with my sister and her husband right now. They said they went not long ago. You know, to that new campsite that just opened up.
New campsite? You mean that one in the next city?
Yeah, that one. My sister said it was fantastic. When she told me, I just had to make reservations. I couldn't help myself.
I see. But I'm sorry, we can't go. The baby is due any time now. I want to stay in town close to the hospital.
Who cares if your baby is due soon? Pregnancy isn't a sickness. Don't use your pregnancy as an excuse to sit at home and do nothing all day. Andy will drive us. I know my son's a good driver. You trust your husband's driving, don't you?
It's not that. Driving there isn't the problem. You can go with Andy and Rebecca if you want, just the three of you. I'll sit this one out.
No way! I planned this as a family trip. Me and my son's family. If you're not there, there's no point in going. Besides, I made the reservation for 4 people, and since it was last minute, I can't get my money back. So stop packing. We're going camping!
Hazel, please answer your phone. You have to come back and get me. You can't leave me behind at a coffee shop like this.
Well, we had no choice, did we? You were complaining the whole time that you didn't want to go. I wasn't going to listen to that for 2 days straight. Ugh. Besides, we're getting on the highway now anyway. Coming back to pick you up would just be a pain. You can walk home or call a taxi.
You did that right in front of Rebecca, too. She was yelling for you to stop hurting Mommy. And I saw her crying, looking out the back window as you drove off. If this incident causes her trauma, are you going to take responsibility for that? You pulled me out of the house against my will and put me in the car. Rebecca was crying when you did that too. And then we go only about 20 miles away. You stop in a coffee shop parking lot and you pull me out of the car and drive off? You know how small I am compared to you. I couldn't fight back even if I wasn't 9 months pregnant. It's not even how bad all that is. It's that Andy didn't even try to stop you. Both of you must be crazy.
We're just teaching you a lesson. You need to learn manners.
Manners?
Yes. It appears your parents didn't raise you very well, did they? If they're not going to teach you, I'll just have to do it myself. You need to learn to respect your elders.
Hazel, this isn't about me respecting or not respecting my elders. What do you think a pregnant mother's first priority is? It's to protect her baby. It's to avoid anything that might not be good for her baby. You have a son. You know this, right? What would I do if I went into labor or something happened to me out in the middle of nowhere? There's no hospital anywhere near that campsite. That's why I didn't want to go.
How many times are you going to say that? Take responsibility for your own actions. If something happened to you or your baby at the camp, it wouldn't be the campsite's fault, and it wouldn't be mine. It would be your own fault. This has nothing to do with us, so it shouldn't affect our lives. The only reason you didn't want to come on this trip is because you don't think you're a good mother. You don't think you can protect your kids properly, do you? If you're not confident you can protect your own kids, that says to me that you're just not a good mother.
You've got it wrong. Being able or not able to protect them is one thing. But what a mother should do first is to not expose her children to danger in the first place. And the fact that Andy went along with your plan to abandon me just proves to me that he's a useless husband. And he's left me no choice.
Did you just call my son a useless husband?
Are you telling me he's not?
I can't believe you have the nerve to say something like that to me about my own son. Your parents did raise you poorly. They must have been really overprotective. That's why kids today are so weak and delicate, are scared of the slightest things. I've got it. I know what I'm going to do about you. I'm going to tell everyone in the neighborhood that you're a terrible wife. Yep, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Huh?
Well, it's true, isn't it? You're against anything Andy or I say. You don't respect your elders or your husband. You even speak poorly about your husband. I'm gonna show them the text where you said he's a useless husband. Soon, no one in the neighborhood will like you, and it'll all be your own fault. That's what you get. Yup. You're gonna have a miserable time living in that neighborhood from now on.
Well, I suppose you guys should be arriving at the campsite soon, huh?
Huh?
You've arrived at the campsite entrance, haven't you?
Well, yes. We're coming up to the parking area soon. It's such a beautiful area, and I hear the view is even better when you get in. If you wouldn't have complained so much, you could have been here with us. We could have had a wonderful time together.
No, I don't think we could ever have a wonderful time together. And I know you won't be enjoying your trip now that I'm not there.
Huh? Oh, we've arrived. Don't contact us anymore until we get back. Even if you go into labor, don't message us.
Look behind you!
Huh? Huh? Hey, there's someone behind us that looks a lot like Jeremy.
That's right.
That's right. Why would your father be at a place like this?
About that new campsite, my father owns it.
What? I thought he owned a golf course.
He does, but recently he's expanded into other leisure facilities.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wait a minute. He's not letting us through the gate.
Well, of course not. I told my dad everything you did.
What do you mean what I did?
I'm talking about you abandoning a woman 9 months pregnant at a coffee shop and continuing on your vacation without her and left her with no way to get home. I told you I couldn't go camping because my baby was due at any time. What you did was worse than going without me. You dragged me with you just to abandon me? I knew my dad would be angry if he found out I went camping this late in my pregnancy. And I knew he'd get mad at you and Andy for taking me along.
So what? Are you trying to say you were protecting Andy and I from your father?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I know you planned this trip just for a change of pace. That's why I told you to take Andy and Rebecca and go have fun without me. I figured if my dad asked me why my family left me alone, I'd just tell him that I told you guys to go have some fun. I thought that way he couldn't really get angry at anyone. Well, I don't know if that would have worked or not, but you went and did this to me, so I told him everything.
Talk to your father right away. Andy has already gotten out of the car to talk to your father, but he doesn't seem to want to listen. He looks furious. If you speak to him, you can get him to calm down, and all this will be resolved right away. Just tell him we didn't abandon you. Tell him you got out and told us to go ahead without you.
You want me to do what? You made Andy stop the car, and you got out and physically pulled me out of the car against my will.
Paige, come on, it wasn't that bad. It was just a little joke.
And what if I had fallen on my stomach when you pulled me out of the car? If you would have hurt my baby, would you call that a little joke too?
Ah, you're so thick-headed. You've got to relax a little and let things go. Otherwise, you'll be miserable your whole life. I'm your mother-in-law, but you're treating me like I'm some random stranger. I'm allowed to do things like that to you. We're related. Look, if you don't talk to your father and get him to calm down about this, I can see there's gonna be bad blood between our families for a long time.
After what you did to me, don't even use the word family when referring to you and me ever again. It gives me goosebumps when you do.
What?
I'm not telling my dad you didn't do what you did. Oh, and tell Andy I'm divorcing him.
Divorce? Oh, you've gotta be kidding!
I'm not kidding. He didn't even try to stop you today. How do you think any of us could possibly live together after what happened today? I've had all I can take of you and your useless son.
What are you talking about? You're a mother. You can't get divorced. You have kids. What'll happen to them?
My children? What do you care? You only care about your granddaughter when it's convenient for you. You leave a 6-year-old girl locked outside and go off to eat lunch with your friends. And it's not like Andy cares about his daughter either. He only spends time with her if he's not out drinking with his friends, and if there's no sports on TV. I can raise my children by myself, like I've been doing this whole time anyway. Do you think I need Andy? If you do, you're crazy.
Oh, but a divorce will cause huge problems. Where are we going to live? Andy and I will have no place to live. You wouldn't make us leave.
That's right. You'll have no place to live. That house we're living in now is my dad's. Andy can't touch it in the divorce. And if we're divorced, why on earth would I let him and my ex-mother-in-law keep living with me? So obviously I'll be kicking you two out.
You can't kick us out on such short notice. It's not fair. Are you that heartless? Have you forgotten all the things I've done for you?
I remember all the things you've done to me, but I can't think of anything you've ever done for me. So, how's it going with my useless husband?
Well, he still hasn't come back to the car yet.
Maybe you can't see from the car, but he's down on his knees begging right now. Why don't you try getting out and talking to my dad? I'm sure he'll love to speak to you, too.
Huh? I'm not going over there. Please, Paige, do something. I apologize for everything I've done in the past. I'm sorry. Your dad just came over to the car and took the keys out. He said he's taking Rebecca back with him, and he told me and Andy never to go back to that house of his. What are we supposed to do now? He took the keys. We can't drive back.
I think you should take responsibility for what you've done. Isn't that what you always tell me to do? Look on the bright side. You're much better at communicating than I am. I'm sure you've got lots of friends to help you out, right? Why don't you get them to help you out this time? You know, all of those friends from your women's group. After I called my dad, he had one of the campsite staff members pick me up and drive me back to my house. After speaking to them at the campsite, my dad made Andy and my mother-in-law leave the camp property, and he brought my daughter Rebecca back safely to the house. Rebecca was so happy to see me that she started crying, and I did too. We both cried as we hugged. Somehow, Andy and his mother eventually made it back to the house, even without the car they drove up in. They both begged me to forgive them and to let them back into the house. But after what they did, neither me nor my father would allow them back into the house. Andy also begged me not to divorce him, and he fought it every step of the way. But even he couldn't bear being the target of my father's anger. So Andy finally gave in, and we finalized the divorce. Since my father and I had kicked them out, they didn't have a place to live. I heard they were staying in a cheap, run-down motel for a while, up until the divorce was finalized. As for where they are right now, though, I don't know. There's a rumor going around that there are 2 homeless people who set up camp down by the river, though. As for me, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. For now, I've moved back in with my parents, so they can help me take care of the new baby. Now that I think about it, raising a newborn baby and an elementary school student is a little much for just one person. But just thinking about having that useless husband or that useless mother-in-law around would be 100 times worse. That's why I'm so happy my parents were there to save me from them and help me out now.